Getting down on the funk of town, got me some skeletons. 'Cause death, its shadow, it's hanging over me. Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Suicide Monologues. The other side. Like what happens when you die. But before I do, I need to make a couple points of order. Gia Cerrone wrote in the comment section on episode 1, that I'm smart. I gotta question that assessment. It's lung cancer, okay? And I got it because I smoked like a fiend for 25 years. I mean, at the end, it was 3 packs a day. And I'm not talking light shit. I'm talking Marlboros, Camels, that kind of stuff. So I brought this on myself. And I would equate that situation with stupidity. Maybe my picture should be next to the word moron, dimwit, dipshit in the dictionary. I'm just saying. That doesn't seem very smart to me. Moving right along, one other thing I want to say is that I got up this morning without any assistance at all. Didn't even give it any thought. No brace, no nothing. And I've been bebopping around for the last 4 hours on my feet, bending down, doing all kinds of crazy shit. So I guess I would consider that to be a delayed Christmas present, and that's kind of the best one. After nearly 3 months of being flat on my back or having to move around very slowly with a walker, and a brace, 2 braces, I think, at one point. Man, I'm fucking grateful. Shit. They don't get no better than that. Now, this episode is kind of follows close on the heels of the first one, which, as you remember, started out with Camus' statement that, the only real question in philosophy is whether or not life is worth living. And you get that in Hamlet. He has that very famous soliloquy, to be or not to be, whether 'tis nobler to suffer the bullshit and assholes of life or simply off yourself, and for him, at least, for Hamlet in the play, it's the reason he doesn't do it is he doesn't know what's on the other side, what he calls the undiscovered country. Now, if you ask a religious person, they're going to give you their take. Other people have their take. And I've looked at it from the scientific point of view, and there is a real possibility that there is something. You're not going to just go into nothingness. That's just, I think that's a cop-out for people that are intellectually lazy who reject religion but don't have brains enough to investigate what's going on around them. Let me give you an example. A byproduct of nuclear fusion in our sun and every other star out there is something called a neutrino, which is a nearly massless particle that's a byproduct of nuclear fusion. Billions of those are going through you every day. You're awash in that shit. It's an ocean of dynamic energy. You can't really see it, feel it, touch it, and what experiments there are basically have identified them, their collision with certain materials. But that's as far as they've gotten. Now, let's start adding this shit up. You have dark energy. You're in the middle of that too. That's the repulsive force that counteracts gravity and pushes the accelerated expansion of the universe. You're right in the middle of that. It's not like it's out there somewhere. You're in the dark energy. Then, of course, you have dark matter, which makes up 85% of the universe, has a profound influence on galactic structure. Hey, guess what? You're in the middle of it. Then, of course, you have gravity itself. And, nobody's really figured that out. I mean, they can use it to send a ship into space to do like gravity assist, where they spin around and they accelerate whatever the spacecraft is, whatever the probe is. And they can do that with infinite precision. They can describe gravity. They can use it to predict things. Really don't know what it is. They're still trying to figure it out. Is there a particle called the graviton which is responsible for it? Is it, as Einstein posited, the stupid pop-up on this fucking computer? Is it the curvature of space? I mean, nobody really knows. Now, for me, there are two things that really kind of get to me and really show just how little we know, what we don't really understand. And I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to get you to the undiscovered country. You just got to be patient. Now, a while back, Miller Urey did an experiment. They tried to simulate the conditions present on the prebiotic early Earth, a warm little pond, as we're, generally speaking, it was believed that life began. So they dumped, I think it was ammonia, water, hydrogen, methane, and they cooked it. And what they were able to produce was organic compounds. They didn't produce life. And that's the stumper, because nobody really knows what the spark is that makes us do what we do, that gives us life. Now, Mary Shelley took a pretty good shot at it with Frankenstein when she, suggested that electricity or galvanism would be enough to, raise somebody from the dead. But the reality is it doesn't. So life, here we are, you don't know what it is. So really, can you honestly say when the physical body dies that necessarily that internal life simply dissipates? And you only live once. I don't know about that. I think that might be an overstatement, You really don't know what's going to happen to you. So you kind of need to be open-minded about it. Or at least when I say you, I mean me. Well, I guess, yeah, because when I say you, because I'm looking at myself on the computer screen. So, I don't presume to tell you what to believe or what to do. It's not my place. This shit's therapy for me and a way to keep a record of what's going on in my last days. For God knows what reason anybody wants this shit, but, what are you going to do, right? You're dying and got to do something, right? But I figured out that if I'm able to walk around the way I am, I've been actually sitting in this chair now for 7 minutes, and I'm not screaming in agony, so things are definitely looking up. But the kicker for me, and it's kind of related to the life thing, is how is it that elementary particles, when you slap a bunch of them together in various combinations, you get the elements? I mean, think about it. All those elementary particles are identical. One proton is the same as the next proton, the same as the next proton. The same holds true for electrons and neutrons. Now, think of them as bricks. They're building blocks. Now, if you had, say, 100 ordinary bricks, and you stacked them in various configurations, compositionally, they would still be bricks. They wouldn't change into something else, gold or silver or whatever. Not so with elementary particles. I mean, basically, when you start stacking them together, you get all the elements on the periodic table. You get uranium, hydrogen, helium, methane, ozone, you name it. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, there's a lot of shit going on that we're part of something. And I find it difficult to believe that when this part of us goes, there's nothing remaining. There's shit going on inside us. We just don't know it. We can't see it. We can't touch it. And I guess the question would be, what would the afterlife be like if you were, say, for want of a better word, you're a wave function, or a bit of cosmic material? I think the best explanation was in the movie 2010, which is a sequel to, 2001, Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick. And Bowman, I don't remember if he's talking to Haywood Floyd or he's talking to his wife. And he says something to the effect of, I remember my life, but that's not me anymore. And I think that's kind of what I'm looking at, when I go. So it's not really something that I'm terribly afraid of. No, that's not true. I'm scared shitless. I think anybody that tells you they're not afraid of dying, I guess when you have time to think about it. I mean, if you were in the middle of something and you were fighting for your life, you probably wouldn't sit and contemplate it. You would do whatever you could to stay alive. Now, my two friends here, they are the shadow of death that hangs over me. I think it kind of hangs over all of us, but they're more pronounced in my case. Memento mori, remember you must die. So anyway, that's my take on the undiscovered country, and I think episode 3 is going to probably be atheism, agnosticism, and belief, or believerism, as the case may be. Now we're up to 10 minutes. I'm still pretty comfortable. I don't think anybody's probably watching this, or if they do, they turn it on and they go, not this asshole again. But yes, this asshole again. And we got more episodes. There's all kinds of shit I want to talk about. Oh, this is fucking awesome. Anyway, oh yeah, musical instruments. Boop beep boop beep boo. I play this and I play that. I might even play your cat. And then these posters are the covers of anthologies that I'm in. Same as over here. I got them everywhere. I mean, it's like, they uplift me. I have a legacy, so to speak. Anyway, this is your boy Carlton. He's signing off. And hopefully I will have another episode, or I'll be dead. Oh yeah, the other day they MRI'd my brain. So looking for more tumors. Maybe I should write a book, Carlton and his tumors. I think that would be a hit. Anyway, toodaloo.